Scrappy Peeps, Suzanna here today for Echo Park to share with you a traveler's notebook spread that I created using the new I Heart Crafting collection. So these are the goodies that come in the kit. So there are 2 die sets, there are 2 6x6 stencils there are the tags and ephemera and the creative collection, and then there are some accompanying patterned papers. So I am creating in one of the traveler's notebooks that comes from the coffee collection. I like to do memory keeping, and so for me the blank notebooks work best. So this picture is a picture of my gold bucket that is full of crafty essentials that is on the table every time I create, and it's usually in that top right corner, which I don't actually see right now, but believe it or not, it is full of the loaded essentials. So the picture is going to be on that left-hand side, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the stencil, and I'm going to rub 5 different color distress inks through that paint dots stencil, and the colors are the colors that are the primary colors that are in this collection. And the distress inks that I used are, if you bear with me one second, so what I did was I just used the Vicky Bouton, I forget what it is, but it's like a sponge, and I rubbed Shabby Shutters, Worn Lipstick, Cracked Pistachio, Festive Berries, and Peacock Feathers. So those were the colors that I found that I had of Distress Oxide inks that are closest to the colors that are in this collection. And I didn't worry about actually blending the colors. In fact, I thought it was pretty cool with them blended. Isn't that a neat look? And it was kind of based on one of the pattern papers, only it had pinks and browns, and I wanted more of the vibrant colors that are in this collection. So that is going to be the background, and what I thought would be really neat is to create a bit of a pocket out of that 3x4 card with the heart in the center there. Only I knew I wanted to remove that, and my original thought was actually that this was going to be a flip card, and so something would be underneath the circle where that heart was. And so what I'm looking for now is a pattern paper that will go behind. The only problem with that pattern paper is that then I couldn't write on it, and I thought that that was where I might do my journaling. So I have my circle punches, and I am going to find the right size that allows me to still see that lovely floral border there, but takes out the heart in a circle. So isn't that cool? That effect there, so it's kind of like a window. And so this is where I'm like, can't really write on that, and the busyness of that pattern doesn't really go, but I really did like that dark contrast with those small florals there, which is why I decided to back that card all together with this, and I kind of abandoned the idea of it being a journaling spot, which is fine, because really what is there to journal other than that these are my crafty essentials, which is what the title, which I do put on the page, suggests. So I thought there's that hole kind of where the spiral of the things that are in the craft bucket is. So I am going to fussy cut this heart and put that in the center, which you kind of don't see. I mean, you do see it, but you don't realize that it's not an actual part of the photo, and that's okay, because I was able to use the heart. So I thought maybe some more paper layers behind that dark layer would be fun, but I ultimately don't find anything, and I also don't really want too many layers because it is a traveler's notebook, and the more weight you put on one page, the more you've got to counterbalance on the other side, as well as then it makes the journal a whole lot bigger. But I did find this piece of 6x6 pattern paper that has all kinds of sort of crafty words through it. And so I thought that would be a fun border to create. So I'm going to cut a strip of those and use that. Now, I have these dies. I got both dies that come with this particular collection. This is the Create banner, and I've already pre-cut all of the attached dies. And I knew that I wanted to use the banner over the center of that circle for my title. I also knew that craft was one of those words, which is why the title then becomes Craft Essentials. You got to use what you got, right? Normally I would have probably put Crafty Essentials, kind of a play on words there, but there was no Y. There was no way to create a Y off of the things that would AO, so that's how it is. And the pink is just way too much, so I'm going to cut the inner of the die out of white to fill that pink that's there. The collections from Echo Park generally do not come with letters, which is fine because there are usually tons of words that you could fussy cut and use for titles. So Essentials is going to be typed with my We Are Memory Keepers typewriter. You could do it on a computer if you wanted to, and that's just going to slot in down below there. Now, I did also decorate the cover of this particular notebook, and all I used was one of the tags, and I left the saying inside the frame, and then I used the other die that comes with this collection, which is the floral border die set, and I just cut off the little pieces of the outer part of one of those floral borders just to add a little bit of color to that. I like my covers of my traveler's notebooks to be simple. So really, it just needs to tell you what the notebook is about. If there's dates, then I'll put dates there. And they need to be inviting to me. But if there's too much on them, then it also gets ruined and it becomes distracting. Whereas really the purpose of a cover, kind of like on a book, you have your title and your author and a picture, but the picture isn't too busy so that it just suggests the idea of the book. It's the same thing for me with a traveler's notebook. So I've got those basics there. Now I want to add a little bit more. I've got lots of goodies and I got to use them. I don't want too much because that background with all of those dots is pretty busy. But I also have, and I know that I have ephemera in the pack that is crafty. And so I want to find something that is going to decorate that with that crafty theme. And so what's going to happen here is I'm going to end up putting some of those crafty bits and pieces. I have a bit of scratch paper here to just use a glue pen to apply the adhesive. I put this on straight, but the way that the banner is designed, it's actually designed to be at an incline, just as the words that are actually designed to go in the banner are also designed to be read at an incline. So after laboriously spending a lot of time adjusting it, I also decide that it's too high and I want some of that black to poke out from above it, kind of like a globe in a way. And so I rearrange it. Easy. But that does mean that I need to put more adhesive. So what is in your craft essentials? I have in here large scissors, some fine point spring tip scissors or spring scissors. I have 2 liquid glue pens. One is that Martha Stewart. The other is my Prima glue pen. I have a black Kikoyu pen for writing. I have an X-Acto blade that's not an X-Acto blade, but you get the idea, a craft knife. I have a water brush, and so at the end of the video I do actually list out what all of those things are. I have just a regular old ballpoint pen, which I call a biro. My mom is English. And I have tweezers. I have 2 types of tweezers. I have my really sharp point tweezers and I have my cutter bee sharp tweezers. And I also have a stylus in there. And that is what consists of my crafty essentials. I wonder if yours is quite like mine or very different. I think we all have different things. But I also have bins to the left of me that contain all of my liquid glue and my various other types of adhesive that I use. So that was me just putting all of that together. Now I'm going to put those elements, and so what ends up being, I find that in order to really get things, items, I go with the stickers the most. So I'm going to use the stickers there, but in the meantime, I get distracted because I think that I need to have a border on this photo. And I do end up putting a border, but the border ends up being me itemizing out what each of those things in that Crafty Essentials bin is. So my other question for you today is, do you document yourself and your crafty endeavors? This traveler's notebook is going to be about all of my crafty endeavors. I can put in crops, I can put in design teams, I can put in crafty essentials. So that's kind of what this is. This is more for me than it really is memory keeping. It's my memories, things that the kids probably wouldn't care about as they get older. So there's the essentials. I'm going to stick that in there, and that, my friends, is going to call it done. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this come together. I'd love to hear your answers to what your crafty essentials are, and if you do document all of those types of things. Thanks for stopping in today. It was great to see you. I hope to see you again soon. I hope you're doing well. Take care.